Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are uncovering a psychological hook that is frankly just mind-blowing. Look, if you've ever felt totally frustrated with your financial progress, it's super easy to blame the usual suspects, right? We point fingers at the economy, crazy interest rates, or, our bosses. But what if I told you the hidden enemy sabotaging your finances isn't the economy at all? It's actually your own evolutionary biology. Yeah, you heard that right. The exact same biological mechanisms that kept our ancient ancestors alive are literally the things keeping our bank accounts completely stagnant today. So let's dive into this, because understanding this one single concept, it's an absolute game changer for how we interact with money. So this brings us to a really fascinating kind of provocative question. Is your own brain actually keeping you poor? I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but if you're feeling permanently stuck on your financial journey, it might just mean your brain's biological hardware is vastly outdated. Think of it like this. It's like trying to run the absolute latest, most advanced financial software on a clunky computer that was built, well, thousands of years ago. The hardware just isn't designed to process what we're asking it to do. We are walking around operating with brains meticulously engineered for a world that simply doesn't exist anymore. And honestly, until we realize we're fighting our own internal programming, we're just going to keep slamming into the exact same invisible walls.
To really understand this glitch, we have to travel way back. Thousands of years ago, we were wired as primitive humans to prioritize one thing and one thing only: staying alive. Our ancestors woke up every single day with one primary goal: literally, just don't die. They were hunting for their next meal, finding shelter, and basically trying to avoid being eaten. In that super harsh environment, the brain optimized for pure, unadulterated survival. It completely ignored abstract, modern concepts like compound interest, economic growth, or wealth building. Because, think about it. There was absolutely no such thing as saving for retirement when life expectancy was incredibly short and immediate danger was everywhere. Our brains are these beautiful, highly effective survival machines, but they were never, ever designed to be wealth-building machines.
And the evolutionary time jump we're facing today is just stark. Back in the ancient world, avoiding an unknown rustling bush directly equaled survival. If a primitive human heard a weird noise, they didn't stop to investigate if it was a tasty berry bush or a massive tiger, they just ran. Avoiding that unknown risk meant they lived to see another day. But flip to the modern economy, and avoiding risk equals financial stagnation. The entire world has flipped upside down, yet our brains haven't caught up. What saved the caveman from starvation or saber-toothed tigers back then is the exact same biological instinct that's causing the modern CEO inside of you to totally avoid the stock market today. We are literally still running from the rustling bush.
Okay, so this brings us to this incredibly important concept: financial uncertainty. It's a modern condition that our primitive brains incorrectly process as an immediate, life-threatening physical danger. This is just wild when you really think about it. When you even think about stepping out to start a new business, or, say, putting a chunk of your hard-earned savings into an index fund, your overprotective parent of a brain just smashes the panic button. Your palms might get sweaty, your heart rate shoots up, and you get that deep pit of dread in your stomach. Your brain is reacting exactly as if a physical predator is actively attacking you right in that very moment. It literally cannot tell the difference between a potentially risky financial spreadsheet and a hungry lion.
Because our brains simply cannot tell the difference, we end up dealing with the modern casualties of this wildly outdated survival instinct. These are basically the symptoms of our primitive brains hijacking our modern lives. What does that look like? Well, we end up avoiding the stock market completely and not investing because the market dips, and the brain literally screams, "Danger!" We refuse to start new businesses because all that uncertainty feels like a threat. We might even skip out on crucial skill development. Why? Well, because learning something new takes a ton of energy, and the primitive brain desperately wants to hoard that energy just in case we need to run away later. We pass on super lucrative opportunities just because they feel unfamiliar. These well-meaning survival instincts are literally paralyzing us, preventing us from taking the exact steps we need to succeed today.
So what is the ultimate result of all this biological mismatch? It's a life trapped by fear and procrastination, stuck firmly, and I mean firmly, inside a comfort zone. Listen, when you procrastinate on updating that resume or finally launching that side hustle, it's actually often not laziness at all. It's just your brain trying to keep you in a state of perceived safety. It is so crucial to realize that being wired this way is not a personal failure. It's literally just human nature. But, and this is a big but, the direct cost of letting our biology prioritize comfort over calculated growth is a life severely limited by fear. Our comfort zones are biologically safe, sure, but they are financially bankrupt.
To achieve anything meaningful, we have to realize that this feeling of fear isn't a stop sign. It's really just a phantom alarm.
Okay, so how do we actually fix this giant glitch? Well, we have to actively rewire our minds and manually override that outdated hardware. Step 1. Take calculated risks. Notice I said calculated. This definitely isn't about reckless gambling. It's about looking at the actual data and overriding that emotional panic with cool, logical analysis. Step 2. Practice long-term thinking. Remember, the primitive brain only cares about today's meal. We have to purposely force ourselves to look decades into the future. And step 3. Master delayed gratification. We have to actively choose to skip a small, safe reward today in exchange for a massive wealth-generating reward tomorrow. We essentially have to become the conscious pilots of our minds, officially turning off that primitive autopilot.
Doing this requires a massively empowering mindset shift, and it's this. Successful people learn to manage fear instead of obeying it. This right here is the ultimate separator between people who build real wealth and people who stay permanently stuck. Building wealth doesn't mean you're never going to feel fear. Let's really let that sink in because it is so vital. You are still going to feel afraid. Those sweaty palms and that racing heart, yeah, those still happen when you hit buy on an investment or sign a lease for a new business. But building wealth means recognizing that fear as just a biological misfire. We acknowledge it. We say, hey, thanks primitive brain for trying to keep me safe, and then we choose to manage it and move forward anyway. We just have to stop taking orders from the caveman.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a real challenge. Will you let ancient fear dictate your financial future, or will you step up and take calculated risks to build wealth? Now that you know exactly who the hidden enemy is, that it's really just outdated biological programming trying to trick you into playing small, the power is entirely in your hands. Look, we can't change how human beings evolved, but we absolutely can change how we respond. So I'm asking you, what courageous, calculated action are you going to take today to manually override your biology and secure your own financial success? The choice is yours.